To the tragic toll from this weekend's rain and windstorm.
Yes, the atmospheric river was destructive and deadly. A Coquitlam school teacher has been identified as the woman killed when a mudslide destroyed her home. Emily Lazatin joins us live with what we know about the victim. Emily.
Yeah, Chris, the victim's name is Sonia McIntyre. She was a teacher here in Port Moody at Aspenwood Elementary. Now, earlier today, parents were too sad and distraught to speak about it. But one family member telling me, quote, they are absolutely heartbroken and there is a lot less sparkle in the world today.
57-year-old Sonia McIntyre taught grade 2 and 3 at Aspenwood Elementary. Family members and acquaintances tell us she enjoyed running and playing golf. She doesn't have any immediate family members in BC. We're told family flew in from the States Monday morning. In a letter to parents and guardians, the school's principal said McIntyre had been a valued member of the Aspenwood community for years as a teacher and mentor to students and staff. The district's critical incident team on school grounds Monday.
When they explained what happened, a few people cried. Half of the school was blue. That means sad.
The massive 3-day storm brought record rainfall in BC. In Coquitlam, at least 200 millimeters of rain fell within 24 hours, triggering a mudslide Saturday afternoon on Quarry Road between Calgary Drive and McIntyre Road, washing away one home down the mountainside.
We had active streams flowing down through the scene, so crews had to deal with deep mud, rocks, debris. Everything was difficult in terms of access, and it was difficult to even tell the depth of the debris.
Family members and friends desperately tried to call McIntyre, but no one was picking up on the other end. Some of the debris field shown here, with remnants of the home McIntyre lived in. Her cars still parked off to the side. Coquitlam Fire called in the heavy urban search and rescue team for support. McIntyre's body was found early Sunday afternoon.
They were about 250 to 300 meters from the home where they were found. Canada Task Force 1 used specialized tools to be able to help locate the victim.
Nearly 36 people were involved in the search. Coquitlam's fire chief thanking Hussar and Vancouver Fire for mobilizing quickly.
Our thoughts are with family and friends of the victim today.
A life gone. McIntyre's family now dealing with the loss of a loved one, and a school community left grieving.
And Emily, a number of people were impacted in that region. What do we know about the people who had to shelter in place on either side of the road there?
Yeah, Chris, so because of that debris field from the mudslide on Quarry Road, we're told by the fire chief that at least 5 families are having to shelter in place right now, that officials are constantly checking in on them by phone. So crews are working around the clock to clear the area, but still no word on when roads in that specific area will reopen. We'll send it back to you.
All right. Hope the news is good in the next few days here. Thanks very much, Emily.
And searchers have been scouring the banks of the Coquitlam River looking for a missing man. Coquitlam RCMP confirming a search is underway for Robert Belding. He was last seen wearing dark pants, a light-colored top, and boots with a brown, black, and tan camouflage pattern. The 59-year-old was last seen around 6 p.m. Sunday near the river at Pipeline Road and Galette Avenue. He's believed to have fallen in and was said to have been walking his dog at the time. The dog was found wet but alive several hundred meters downstream.
Well, the scope of the damage is now becoming clearer in 2 North Vancouver neighborhoods.
In both Deep Cove and the Woodlands, multiple homes were badly damaged during the weekend storm. Our Alissa Thibault is live in Deep Cove tonight. Alissa, some of those residents are looking at a major cleanup, and it could be weeks before they're even able to go home.
Yeah, exactly, Sophie. There is significant damage in both of these communities. In the Woodlands area, which is not far from here, there are boulders through homes. While here in Deep Cove, 6 properties have been deemed too unstable to be in right now. They're directly behind me across the water. And at this point, we don't know when those residents will be able to come home. Powerful floodwaters rushing through Deep Cove Saturday left behind more than just a field of debris.
One of the retaining walls between the houses has actually had quite a bit of damage from being overrun by water in the last 48 hours.
Sunday night, a local state of emergency was declared and 6 homes evacuated due to concerns about stability. Engineers spending Monday assessing just how bad the damage is.
Our hearts go out to these poor families that live in these homes here.
In the nearby community of Woodlands, a debris field with large boulders is carved through properties.
What bridge is going?
The rushing water powerful enough to take out a footbridge and plough right through people's homes.
It broke all the windows on the creek side of the house, and then it came rushing through and broke the windows on this side.
The bottom floor of Jill Berwick's home is significantly damaged, with rocks piled in bedrooms.
We had to stand back and stay out of the way.
In 3 hours, there's thousands of cubic meters of material built up against the house.
Residents here say Saturday's atmospheric river event was unprecedented. A number of homes are more than 100 years old and have never sustained this much damage in a storm.
So now we have no room for a future event. So if something happens, then we'll lose the houses.
Both communities are now facing significant repairs and hoping officials will look at ways to prevent future flooding. The residents admit this can be the cost of living so close to creeks.
You know, this is a mountain. There's all sorts of streams that are coming off the mountain.
We live within nature and we have to assume those risks.
All right, Alissa, that is a lot of debris and some huge boulders. Where did all of this come from?
So some of the Woodlands residents that we spoke to today said that they thought there had been a landslide, and take a look at what we saw today. So this is directly up the hill from the Woodlands area. It looks as though the ground just gave way, taking trees and rocks with it. This slide is just below a road, which is the access road to other communities that are further up Indian Arm. So that just gives you an idea of how volatile this area is after the weekend. The North Shore received almost 300 millimetres of rain from Friday, and it's only the start of fall. Back to you.
It sure is. All right, thanks for that, Alissa.
One person is dead and another is presumed dead after 2 vehicles were found submerged between Port Alberni and Bamfield. RCMP are warning of the dangers of trying to cross flooded roads. Kylie Stanton reports on the Vancouver Island region's hardest hit by the atmospheric river.
The road to Bamfield completely washed out. The Sarita River it borders, swallowing 2 vehicles during Saturday's atmospheric river.
With the tides and the storm as it was more than we expected.
Port Alberni RCMP say they received 2 missing persons reports for people driving the notoriously dangerous stretch on Saturday. A cell phone tower ping confirmed one was last near the 58-kilometer mark of the road, where a helicopter and Alberni Valley Search and Rescue were later deployed. A truck was found in the river, the driver's body a short distance away.
That was the individual with the dog. That was Ken Duncan, who passed away.
A second vehicle was also found, but the conditions prevented first responders from getting near it. Search and Rescue are hoping to conduct a swift water recovery of the vehicle. Police believe the second missing person is inside. Global News is not releasing the identity at this time.
Both of these individuals had direct connections or direct friendships with the Ojibwe First Nations and the regional district, something that we never want to see.
Which is why the road has seen some upgrades, resurfacing and raising it on average 33 centimeters. The project, the result of a 2019 tragedy where a bus carrying 48 people crashed, killing 2 University of Victoria students.
If anything else happened to anyone on that road, you know, I would be so mad.
But this is being called a once-in-200-year event.
Floods, however, this is a different thing entirely.
It wasn't the only highway affected. Further south, Highway 14 was also washed out. 6 sites over a 35-kilometer stretch are now under repair. The Ministry of Transportation expects it will reopen to traffic late Wednesday. We're back in Bamfield. While the water has receded, flowers take its place.
This is not something that we will forget, and is something that we'll take forward when we talk about climate change mitigation.
Kylie Stanton, Global News.
All right, meteorologist Yvonne Schell joins us now. And Yvonne, how much rain actually fell in some of these areas over the weekend, and how does it compare to the 2021 atmospheric river?
Chris, 2021, we had upwards of 300 millimeters, and that was in a shorter period of time. But we had copious amounts from Friday leading in towards our Sunday, and these were some of the amounts to give us an idea. Upwards of 250 millimeters, Coquitlam, areas near West Van, along the North Shore Mountains, Pitt Meadows, even out of the airport, about 110 millimeters and counting, Abbotsford and areas near Agassiz as well. Also, to put this in perspective, we did have daily temperature precipitation records. This was on Saturday, one of the wettest days, and areas even near Abbotsford getting up to 82.1 millimeters in one day. The old record of 59.2 was back in 1966, and areas even near Victoria were included within that, getting up to 40.6, the old record back in 1956. Also another record to add, most rain in one day. This was out of the airport. We had the 6th wettest day. That was on our Saturday, so we'll add that as well. So we had a significant amount of rain, copious amounts. We are seeing a nice drying on the way. Much needed sunshine also in our work week forecast, that coming up very shortly.